there's a lot that every organization can do. And there's a lot of things, just from a systems and habits perspective that can be done to really facilitate rapid change. I mean, I look at when you take on people that perhaps this is their first job, or haven't been employed for a while. One of the things that we always look at and recommend is, have you looked at your payment structure for somebody to come to work for that first month before they receive their salary is not feasible, because to get to work, money for transport, money for food, money for all of those things would then have to be taken out normally via a loan. And that's obviously going to compound and create a more stressful, economic factor on that individual. Yeah. So if you can adapt your systems and your processes to say that if this is your case, we can pay you daily at first, and then weekly, and then monthly, to help you get back on your feet and not get further in debt. That is something that a business can do straight off the bat that will immediately help and impact that person and better their chances of moving into that higher band. So I agree, but there's a boldness to that to say, I understand that not all of our payroll systems work like that. So, we need to make some changes there. And, it is difficult, but I think there's so much that we can do collectively to just make these little incremental changes,
Absolutely. And first, though, the first step is to understand the issues.
Yeah.
So a lot of people will look at, well, I don't know why people aren't staying with us. They come for 2 days and then they leave, and let's be really willing to ask the question and listen to the answer. And then what's really important when you said about payroll systems, I find it through all walks of life, that sometimes we're guilty of designing our interventions around our systems instead of our systems around the issues. Our systems are there to support what we're trying to do, not the other way around, if that makes sense. So there's always, systems can be changed, but yes, we absolutely have to look at what are the core issues, and then what, like you say, even if it's small things that we can do to support people. I use the example often of somebody turning up for work, and they're 5 minutes late, and they've come from an area where they've been living in a shack. Maybe it's been raining, they've woken up, they've had to spool water out of their house because of the storm, say here in Cape Town in the middle of winter. They've then walked for 15 minutes in the dark in the rain. They've waited in a queue for a taxi, got 1, 2, 3 taxis maybe, then walked another half an hour, and they arrive at work. And if they're 5 minutes late, you get somebody who, the manager's maybe just rocked up in their bucky or whatever it may be, and starts abusing them almost for being late. And I always look at that and I think, what is that person thinking? That total lack of understanding of what that person went through in that morning just to get there, the total empathy, and the total lack of just realization of what other people in our country, how they live and what they have to do to get to work. And I think anything that we can do in the employee engagement space to break down those walls, if you like, of understanding or of lack of understanding, and to build bridges across to say to people, look, this is how our people get to work.